up? Oh, man. Thank you guys again for checking us out. This is Compra Casa San Diego, mortgage and real estate info en tu idioma. My name is David. I'm with Realty One Group Pacific. This is our panel. You'll be me. You guys already know them, right? They come without introductions.
It's part of the package.
It's part of the package, for sure. Speaking of packages, we want to be your package of professionals that you call with questions. Funny enough, this show has to do with questions from our audience, questions that we've received from people that are checking us out on our YouTube, on our Instagram, the different DMs. It's really going to be a smorgasbord of different questions. So be prepared, and hopefully one of these hits a nerve with y'all, meaning hopefully it comes back home and be like, oh, I always wondered about that.
That's me.
Yeah, that's me. Hopefully you can see yourself in these questions, because hopefully that'll empower you to kind of take the next step. So
or
thank you
to
all.
Ask new questions.
Most importantly, and I can't stress that enough from everybody out there, please reach out to us and ask questions. We want your feedback. Let us know what you think about the show. Ricardo got some feedback the other day. Oh, no.
Me.
Chanel did.
One of my buddies from high school was like, whoa, you look
The hell
really
is that
sick. And I was
person?
like,
We
you know
know
what,
who you
Reed?
are.
I was really sick, but I still showed up. I still showed up, did my thing, and went home.
No, they said another person said that they sent you a message saying they couldn't relate. And we're like,
yeah.
wait, how?
Student loans.
Right.
But it had to do with couldn't relate because they don't speak Spanish. So, but it was still
understood me.
constructive,
Right.
and she did have nice things to say. And
Wait, what do you mean they don't speak Spanish, bro?
it happens.
They live in Southern California and they don't speak Spanish.
My girl claims she's Mexican too. She is not. She is not.
when keeping it
Just
real
kidding.
goes wrong.
She's gonna be mad at me for that.
But this is a Spanish English Spanglish show. Like I said, we just want to make it approachable for everybody. So
Informative, fun.
yeah,
We don't
no,
judge.
and this is
We're here to
fun.
help.
Obviously, we crack jokes on each other, and we will be cracking jokes at you too. So be prepared. But so we're gonna go ahead and dive into these questions. And I thought I'd start off. This isn't even on my list, but I thought I'd start off with a very basic question that we get a lot. And Omar, how do you get pre-approved, or what are the three important steps? Omar, what are the three important
That's Omar.
Right.
That's Omar, brother. Right there. That's Omar. Okay.
I have a lazy
Diego,
eye. I have a
that
lazy
is
eye.
Omar.
I had a couple
I
drinks
was
this
like,
morning.
huh? Do you have a mimosa? I'm like, what? Angie, what did you give him for breakfast?
Hey,
Omar.
Omar. What is it taking to get
Thank
pre-approved?
you. A lot of people do call me Omar via telephone, but that's okay. I'm on his team.
Omar, what are the three important...
The real Omar.
What are the three first steps of getting pre-approved?
Lo básico para una preaprobación de crédito hipotecario es ingreso, puntuación de crédito y enganche.
Cash, credit, and income, right? Basically, the first three basic points of getting pre-approved, and break it down.
Y para aclarar, todo mundo que tenga esos tres, que cumpla con esos tres requisitos, califica para algo. Para algo. Y eso es lo que estamos aquí para descifrar, para poder decirles a ustedes qué es ese algo.
To my non-Spanish speakers, credit, income, down payment, assets.
Cash,
Cash,
credit,
money.
and... Okay.
Remember,
Those are the three
we
components.
have down payment assistance.
Right.
You
No.
could have the
So
two
those are the three components, whether it's coming from down payment assistance, whether it's coming from
Okay.
seller paid finance.
Whether it's $1,000 or $100,000, that meets the cash part, which means there's something there for you. We just got to figure out what it is.
Or how.
Credit, there are minimum credit score requirements, not always, but there are mostly some minimum credit score requirements that you must meet. But again, if you're not in that place because maybe you had some late payments or you have even a bankruptcy, you could still qualify to purchase years after. If you're not credit worthy yet, we can get you credit worthy and put you on a roadmap to get you to that point.
Or we could get you a loan with that credit, but yes, it's going to require a higher down payment.
Right.
But you can still become a homeowner.
And income, do you have a job? You have to have a job. You have to be employed in the same line of work for the past 2 years. For those of you who are recently graduated and you now are employed at a hospital per se, or you're a nurse, and you've only been there a year, you can use your time in education as part of your qualifying.
Or you've only been there a day. Really, you just need a paycheck.
Or a letter of
your first paycheck or your offer letter. We can get you financed.
Right.
Absolutely.
There you go. So there are caveats to the rules, but those are basic requirements. And so, if you meet those 3 minimum requirements, if you're breathing, if you have a job, if you have some established credit, the down payment part, we can kind of work around that. So, again, 9 times out of 10, it's a lot easier than you might think. I tell this story all the time. When I was originating loans, most people would say, you know what? My credit's bad. I just don't qualify. We run their credit and it's actually 10 times better to be able to qualify than what they thought. So let us do that work for you. Let our friends at Secure Funding Group do that work for you, and they will put you on the path to home ownership first and foremost. So, I thought I'd just break it down with that. But there were some very specific questions that came up, and I want our panel just to kind of dig deep into them. One of them, probably one of the tougher ones, had to do with tax liens. And if you're able to purchase a house, if you have a tax lien.
Absolutely, you're able to purchase a home even if you have a tax lien, so long as you're in some sort of payment plan with the institution that is liening you for taxes, whether it be the California Franchise Tax Board or whether it be the Internal Revenue Service on the federal level.
And that's like the minimum payment, you guys. So let's say if you have a $20,000 tax lien, but you're only having to make a $150 payment, that's what you qualify, or that's what they're going to use to qualify you. So you don't, it might seem a large amount, but in actuality, it's much less than what you might think it is in order to be able to qualify.
And everything is by the minimum payment. When I ask, what's your debt? People give me like the total
Their
amount.
balance.
It could be 50, 10,000. We qualify with the minimum down payment.
So if you have a credit card with a $50,000, balance, but your minimum payment is only $100, that's what they're going to use to qualify you guys. So, again, 9 times out of 10, it's better than you might think, but you have to reach out to us so we can kind of break that down and check that out. But so again, a tax lien.
Si tienes deuda, en
We
español,
need a red button in here.
Pienso que es bien importante esto porque hay muchas personas, especialmente dueños de negocios, que tienen deuda con el IRS o con el Estado. Y es importante, como dice Diego, sí se puede comprar, simplemente tienen que tener un plan de repago con ya sea el IRS o con el Estado, y eso automáticamente se calcula en parte de la preaprobación.
Yeah.
Y es muy bueno entender eso, porque básicamente si tienen el pago mensual ya en un plan, eso da mucha fe para que una institución básicamente les preste un préstamo para una casa. ¿Cómo les van a prestar si están atrasados con tax liens o cualquier otra deuda? Es muy importante estar bien financieramente y los podemos ayudar. Hay clientes que básicamente, habla del IRS, haz un payment arrangement, ven en 2 meses y ya su crédito va a estar mucho mejor.
Y otra parte, regresando al tema de credit score, algo que como un punto general, no se enfoquen en la puntuación de crédito. Yo siempre digo, mira, si has tenido todos tus pagos a tiempo en los últimos 12 meses, es lo que ocupamos nosotros para poder cumplir con el requisito de la puntuación, porque una cosa va con la otra, ¿verdad? Y como un punto general, no se enfoquen en cuál es tu puntuación de crédito, simplemente pon atención a tus pagos mensuales. Mientras todos estén en orden 12 meses, generalmente vas a calificar.
Así es, sí, el historial, el historial del pago, exactamente.
Another question that came in, I think we got this over too many times. This was the more popular one, and I don't know what this has to say, but child support. If you have child support monthly obligations, are you able to buy a house?
Yes.
It's cheaper to keep her, bro.
Yes, you are.
So I've heard. I wouldn't.
No, absolutely. You want to answer this question?
Not always.
Go ahead, Myrna.
Yes.
Not always
Again,
cheaper to
you
keep
have
her.
to be arrears. You have to have everything in line. But yes, hopefully your child support is not extremely high because again, the higher the payment, the less you're going to qualify. But yes, you're able to qualify with child support. And if you're not on track, make sure you do that. But again, come with us. We could verify all that information, guide you, and then eventually you could start home shopping.
So child support is basically treated like a liability, okay? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you have a $500 auto loan. You have a $500 child support payment. That's basically what we'll take into equation. But yes, if you are in arrears, meaning if you owe back, same concept. If you are in a paid plan for the arrears, also goes into the qualification.
And that's
method.
acceptable.
So the worst thing, as a general term, is you have debt that's not being tended to. That's basically, like Mira said, that's not good faith. And you can't come and ask for $500,000 or $100,000 when your history says you're not paying something as simple of, whether it's a credit card or whatever it is. So general concept is all these debts we can work with so long as there is payment history, payment range.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
I actually have a client who owes $100,000 in child support. They're on a payment plan for $1.
Just killer.
Wow, $1 a month.
$1 a month.
I need to have my
that's
friend hit
amazing.
him
Qualified,
up.
I'm like,
My
yes.
buddy pays $1,200.
Yeah, he brought me the paperwork. Actually, it's from Arizona, and it shows 1%, and we got him qualified.
Wow.
It doesn't matter.
So
I mean,
goes to
and
show.
actually,
Gonna need that
the
lawyer's
child's
number.
already like 20-something years old, but it's
arrears.
It's arrears. So they
20-something years old. Wait, your client's 20-something years old and owes $100,000?
The
Kids at 10 years old, right?
That's crazy.
No,
Okay.
the child.
Okay, my
child.
apologies.
The child, the man child.
He's actually an adult now.
The grandpa. But yes, bottom line is it doesn't matter, as long as it shows some responsibility because again, you're applying for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if we don't show that
There's good faith
there's
there.
good faith, I don't want to lend you anything. I mean, it's my
Right.
name on that application
Right,
as well.
right.
There might be instances where the information is incorrectly showing in the child support system or in the tax lien system as well. It's happened where that you've been making these payments on time, but it's not showing in the system. We can work that out, or you all can work that out and
Yes.
really kind of get down to
We
the
see
bottom
that
of it.
in
So-
real estate too when we have title reports and we see a very common name, common last surname, and it comes up where people might have a child support and it's really not theirs or it's
It's
already
a
been
dad's
taken
or
care
someone
of.
else's.
So it's good to bring those questions to us, even on the real estate side, because
And
it does come up.
and be upfront with it, you know?
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
we
We will find
we
out.
will find out, and we definitely don't want. Oh, that's not me, and then it is.
How's it go? We
me up
have
to
a
help
certain
you, but
set
not
of
to-
skills, and we know
not for
how to
anything
use those
else.
skills. Another very important question. This goes out to the Aztec for life. What about student loans? Can you buy a
Yes.
house?
Aztec, yes, I'm a graduate from San Diego State University, and student loans. A lot of us had to take student loans out, right? Just growing up, knowing that our parents couldn't pay for our college, and so what I found working with our lender partners is yes, people can qualify for homes.
Right. Can you elaborate on that? I mean, as long as they're
I never had a student loan.
No, but for
Lucky
those
you.
guys,
I had a baba. No, I'm just
same thing. As long as
My-
as long as you guys are on point with making those payments, just like everything else.
or if you're currently not on a
Or
payment
wait,
plan.
how does deferment work?
So
School meal deferment.
we hit you for, just depending on the loan program, we hit you for a percentage of the balance.
Okay.
So even
What is it?
usually 1 or 0.5%.
Right.
So, for example, the 0.5% is really good, right? So, as an example, right, $100,000 student loan debt deferment, 1% is
1,000.
$1,000. So you would
Put me
qualify
on
you
the
gotta put
spot
it
like
on the
that. I was like, phew.
$1,000, and if we were to again, we get creative with programs. The other program would be
0.5%.
0.5%, which is $500. And
Correct.
again,
And
then
or
at
Freddie
that point,
Mac.
we treat it just like any other debt. So again, don't fear. Let's
And a
don't fear that
special
part.
shout out to those that got
Oh, yes.
forgiveness. We have some clients this year that
Really? I didn't even think that
yeah.
existed.
Biden
Are you serious?
You know what? You better call them because
I-
you
I-
just paid Gigi.
I think I don't think that's accurate.
Yes,
It
it
is.
is.
I've seen it.
Do you-
The Biden administration.
we need to tell
I have a
Dr.
client-
Palomero right now. Call up Mr.
I had a couple
Biden.
No, that's only for the undergrad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
any graduate work
Some
they don't cover.
programs, some student loans fell under the administration's forgiveness program, and I have a client who just had $60,000 forgiven.
I had
That's amazing.
$120,000.
Actually, one of our
So
clients
check-
did last year. Remember?
Check your emails. Make sure you are talking to the organizations that hold the student loan debt for you or carrying those deferments, because you might have received that. And we do know some people that went to spam. So check them and check, because that could, if that debt was wiped out, then where does that leave a buyer potentially, right?
Was it a special type of career path that your client was on, or no?
It was undergrad.
There is, some guidelines, but a lot of people did get that.
There's a lot of buckets.
They took advantage of that.
There's
yes.
a lot of buckets that it hit, depending on how long the debt's been owed, things like that. But the bigger thing is inform yourself, right? Because you might be thinking in the back of your head, you owe $60,000 in student loan debt, and it might have been forgiven, and it could put you now on a path to buying a
Free
house.
money. Wow.
Really cool.
That's awesome.
Where else would you have gotten this piece of information aside
Only
from
Compra
checking
Casa San
out
Diego.
this show?
Right.
Compra Casa San Diego, real estate and mortgage info en tu idioma. We want to be your show. We want you all to reach out to us, shoot us a DM, check us out on our YouTube channel, Instagram. But please, guys, these questions are important for you to understand, and really for the audience out there that may or may not have known about these things. I joke around with it, but really, these are very important topics for y'all to understand. And again, hopefully this hits one of you and you're like, shoot, that's cool. I didn't know about that. So reach out to us, reach out to your mortgage professional, reach out to your real estate professional, us, and we will get you on the right path.
What's the phone number?
Oh, I like you.
Our 24-hour hotline, huh?
Give us a call.
619-719-5029. 619-719-5029.
Where would I be without you, baby?
Call me.
Who knows?
Call me.
We don't know.
Cool. Another question that came up had to do with business loans, and this is kind of out of my wheelhouse altogether. So, Omar.
Me, Omar?
You, Omar. Go ahead with the question.
By the way, we've been together 20 plus years, and it's not the first time they've confused
Right.
us.
It'll continue. Huh?
Together
It's
as
just
business,
look-
together
I
as
know,
business,
like,
together as business
so-
partners.
Because a lot of people do think they're real
They look so
partners.
similar. I get it mixed up. My bad.
Okay, so business loans. I pride myself on helping self-employed people achieve home ownership, whether they're sole proprietors or corporations. We push the limits on not only what we're able to do for them, but also kind of guiding them and explaining them. Some very, very important thing to know. Corporations or sole proprietors, it's important to understand that if you're able to separate business debt from personal debt, it is treated as separate entities. As an example, you have a truck that you use for the business, or a vehicle or equipment, okay? Even though you may have signed it as a personal guarantor, if you prove that the business is responsible for making the payments, it will not impact your qualification for purchasing a home. So that is super, super important. Just like.
But just to be clear, you need a 12-month history on that payment being done by the business.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
In order for it not to be accounted.
Absolutely, yes, and thanks for clarifying.
What if you have the truck you've been paying 5 years under the business account, and 6 months ago you had to take out another car loan? Will that be also considered?
So if the new car loan replaced the previous loan, absolutely, yes.
And you can prove that you were paying the previous car.
Correct.
So
It
if it's
just-
a
if it's
replacement,
swapped
That
out.
would count as your history.
Correct.
But what if you have the two cars, but only one it's been over 12 months, and the other one is recent? And I'm asking this because I actually had a couple of calls this week. Myrna, at the end of the year, we bought another car, but we're ready to qualify for next year. But now we have two car loans under being paid by the business corporation.
So
I would have to get back to you on that one, Myrna. That's a great question because based on guidelines, what we're under the impression and our knowledge base is it has to replace the previous vehicle.
Okay.
Okay, because you have to have a 12-month history. But like you said, so you've been paying on one truck, let's just say for the business for 5 years, and then all of a sudden the business wants to buy another
Yes.
vehicle, right? And they go take it, and it's been a month of payment history. It was my understanding that you needed to replace the previous, but that's a great question. I'll have to get back to you on that.
So then you can only omit, I'm 99.9% sure, you can only omit the one that you've had for previous 12 months.
Well, you for sure you can omit that one.
Correct.
If it still
but
exists.
the new one, no.
I'm gonna say that we could, but I need clarification.
Yeah,
on
let's
that.
we'll
Yes.
get back to you on that one.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Creo que sería importante repetir eso en español
I'm right.
para nuestros
A ver,
amigos.
Omarcito.
¿Qué Omar? ¿Omar o
El
yo?
Omar real.
Ah, bueno.
La parte en total. Ok.
Porque mucha gente hace eso.
Propietarios de negocio, generalmente, si puedes comprobar que tus obligaciones del negocio, ya sean vehículos, equipo, tarjetas de crédito, que los usan para el negocio, que se pagan por el negocio, y podemos comprobar que por 12 meses se han hecho los pagos de la compañía o de la corporación, excluimos esa deuda como deuda personal y podemos calificarlos sin esa deuda.
¿Qué dices tú, Chana?
No, pero la pregunta no fue esa. La pregunta,
Los carros.
La pregunta fue específicamente a los vehículos. Que si,
If you obtain a new car.
digamos que tengas un empresario que tiene una camioneta por los últimos 5 años y esa camioneta se ha estado pagando a través del negocio y de repente quiere agregar otra camioneta.
Agregan.
O agregan
Ajá.
otra camioneta al negocio, entonces ya en vez de tener una, tienen 2, pero en esa nueva no tiene un historial de 12 meses.
I'm actually gonna give my answer right now and prove that I'm smart and know my guidelines. No, the answer is no.
Oh.
The guidelines, los guidelines dicen que no, pero ahí va, ¿ok?
I've ran into this situation before, which is why I'm saying that.
Y nomás para poder entender que siempre podemos buscar una manera de una excepción, ¿sí? Ejemplo, ¿qué tipo de vehículo es? ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, si es un vehículo que es 100%...
No va a ser un Mini Cooper, of course.
Si es un vehículo 100%...
Pues quién sabe, a lo mejor, ¿no?
Dependiendo del negocio. Ejemplo, si el vehículo es 100% industrial o en este caso que es para el negocio, que es 100% que realmente para el negocio, si el enganche y la compra se usó la corporación o el negocio como para dar el enganche y todo eso, pienso que podemos encontrar una manera de cómo hacer esa excepción.
There's always a loophole.
Sí. Exception based, right? But you're right.
But it's
As a
not
guideline, it doesn't mean it.
It has to make sense.
Correcto. Y la razón que digo eso es porque yo he tenido situaciones donde no hemos cumplido con los 12 meses, pero por ejemplo, era un vehículo, la compañía era una compañía de grúas y el vehículo que compraron era una grúa. ¿Sí me entiendes? Okay. Y se usó el enganche, todo, estábamos como 3 meses que no cumplíamos y pudimos...
Te dieron la excepción.
Te dieron la excepción. Sí, y esas son las cosas que podemos siempre tratar de cumplir para su beneficio. ¿Sí?
O sea, el beneficio de un financiero hipotecario opuesto a un banco es de que nosotros buscamos formas de
llegar a la meta.
De llegar a la meta a través de siguiendo las guías que imponen los bancos, pero comprobando de otras formas, estructurándolo para que funcione, ¿no?
Sí, y es lo que quiero dejar muy claro a todos los que nos escuchan o nos miran, de que este equipo de prestamistas y de agentes no nos damos por vencidos. Si tenemos un caso que realmente it fits the box, we're going to do our best to get you into that property. Porque hay muchas historias de otros profesionales que dicen, no se puede,
no se puede,
y adiós.
No.
I mean, comprar una casa es el sueño más grande y más de los hispanos o la gente que no es de América. Y para eso estamos aquí, para darles realmente todo lo que tenemos en nuestras manos para hacer ese sueño realidad.
Como les he dicho, estamos buscando maneras de cómo aprobarlos versus por qué no aprobarlos, ¿verdad? We bend, we don't break. There's always exceptions to the rule as long as they make sense. Lending practices or practicers or practicors have guidelines that they have to adhere to, but there are ways to make them work into a particular right. No, yeah, pretty much that's what
There's
it boils
always
down
a way to make it
There's
happen.
always a way to
right?
to massage the situation and ultimately get you and your family into your home.
The way I look at loans and the way I've always looked at loans it's like the legal system, right? Like law, right? Attorneys, they practice their craft, but there's laws, right? There's guidelines
Right.
that have been written,
Right.
but then they find loopholes, and how they interpret those guidelines, it goes with lending. How you interpret, how it's being read, how it's being presented, that's what makes a difference.
There's a key word, interpretation. right?
Absolutely.
Presented, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and this is all common practice. I mean, we're not doing anything outside of the law, just like everybody said here. But again, we want to find reasons on why to get you pre-approved for a home versus where most big bank lending institutions are finding ways why not to lend you this money. They're trying to hold on to this money. Most big banking institutions are what we call depository lenders. They make their money off of checking and savings accounts. They happen to offer mortgage products, but they're very set in stone. Whereas working with a mortgage banker gives you the opportunity and the flexibility to get you pre-approved, weaving within the guidelines.
I want to add one more thing, and this is super important, and I cannot stress how important this is, especially as we're coming into a new tax filing year, right? If you have a corporation, if you're self-employed, whatever it may be, if you're a partner or if you're a shareholder in a company, do not let the bottom line, the net income, dictate your perception of qualification. There is special income calculations that we use for corporations or for sole proprietors. Example, the biggest one, and I'm going to throw this out there. We add back depreciation, okay? And I want to share a very, very successful story really quick. I have a client that owns a lot of machinery, okay? He purchased a lot of machinery in the last year. He had over $200,000 of depreciation because of the machinery. He goes to his bank and the bank says, oh, it says that your business only made $20,000. Okay. He was turned down. Luckily, realtor said, hey, go talk to Secure Funding Group. Just have a second opinion. As soon as I see this, I see the corporation tax returns. There's over $200,000 in depreciation. We immediately do a calculation, add that back. And guess what?
He's signing loan docs right now.
He's
Hell
pre-approved.
yeah.
How
you know?
about that?
Dope.
And these are the things that, as a self-employed individual, don't let yourself, again, like David said, bank may not necessarily be the best choice. And again, not to say that they interpret things differently, but, they don't. It's just, do they want to, go into that pool of client base? And maybe that's not their thing.
Maybe that's not their client. The same thing goes for loss carry forwards.
Yep.
Right? Because a lot of corporations, a lot of empresarios, a lot of business owners, they purchase a ton of equipment and they have a loss for 1 year and they're carrying it forward. Well, we have special calculations where we are able to take a percentage of that and add it back for qualifications. So like Omar said, don't focus on the net because there's ways around that. Mileage, there's so many things that we can add back.
Don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. We are problem solvers out here at Compra Casa San Diego, which is why you need to reach out to us. Hit them with the question.
What's that phone number?
619-719-5029. Si hablan a las 4 de la mañana, va a contestar David
A huevo.
Cárdenas.
¿Cómo que no? Aquí estoy para servirles a todos.
Si hablan a la medianoche, yo contesto.
Para todos ustedes que nos están escuchando, llámenos, aquí estamos para servirles. Compra Casa San Diego. Nos pueden ir a visitar en nuestra oficina en la calle Tercera Avenue de Chula Vista. Pero, es importante que tomen los primeros pasos y eso es preguntar,
Lo más importante
educarse.
es preguntar.
Yeah. There's one last question, and I thought I touched on it before we're up, but Social Security and Medicare, Medi-Cal, if you could break that down, what's the difference, and if you can get pre-qualified?
Social Security income can be used to qualify. Absolutely.
Social Security can be used to qualify.
Can you lose your
Oh, that's a great question. Can you lose your Social Security?
if you become a homeowner?
right.
The answer is no. That's an old
That
myth.
is a huge stigma.
That's a myth.
Yeah,
That is an old
un
myth.
mito,
Yeah,
mito,
es un
¿verdad?
mito.
Yeah.
Es un mito.
That was something that was talked about on Christmas Day at our home, and somebody had that misinformation. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially Latin people, a lot of gente de habla
el
hispana,
miedo.
tienen ese
Temor.
temor que dicen, no, me van a quitar mi mi medical
Pues,
o mi
la pregunta
seguro o
fue
algo
que
por el
si
estilo.
ustedes están recibiendo Social Security, pueden calificar para una
Sí.
casa o se lo van a quitar si fueran con
No,
la
claro
Háblenos
que
y
no.
le damos más información de esta pregunta.
Este tema.
este tema.
Así es.
So, lots of more questions to come. Assuming and knowing that you all will be reaching out to us, give us a call, shoot us a DM, come visit us at our office. But we want to be your mortgage and real estate professionals. We are here to serve. So, thank you all again for checking us out. Compra Casa San Diego. We're out.